in the TBL by the time you actually declare a champion.
The only thing I would devil's advocate to that is I believe TBL series are best of ones and best of threes, whereas NBLC series in the postseason will be best of fives. So again, he's John Van Houwelingen. I'm Jonathan Urbanowicz. We're happy to take you through this NBLC and TBL action. Thanks for joining us, by the way, on both NBLC TV and TBL TV.
Make sure we get a crowd shot going here because it's a great crowd tonight. And all the seats were lined with those fold-up noisemakers. I don't know if you saw them, those paper ones that you fold up and you snap. I see a bunch of teenagers whacking each other over the head with them, but, you know, that's part of the game, I guess, right?
London comes in with a 12-3 home record. Kalamazoo coming in with a 4-8 overall record. These two teams played each other last night, and London won 107-90. It looks like Makubanya and Jean Couch are back into the center circle to do it again 24 hours later after Jean Couch won the first tip-off between these two guys, and he does it again here tonight. So as is tradition always at a Lightning game, the fans will continue to stand on their feet until the opening bucket of the game. That was produced by Marcus Oddie last night. He throws it up for Jean Couch to throw it down.
That time Jean Couch was ready for a pass.
We talked about that last night. He had several more opportunities to accumulate more points, but, you know, little butterfingers here and there.
Yeah, and I think he's not quite aware of what his teammates are looking for from him either. He seems to have a way of being open all the time. You said that too. He's like, how does he get open all the time?
Stanley Williams pulls up the three and rips nylon.
Well, we didn't see too much of Williams last night. See what he brings to the game tonight.
Williams in last night's competition had 14 minutes off the bench. He was 0 of 3 from the field and didn't have any points, John. That's a way to get the monkey off the back. Terry Thomas, he's in that same situation, but it's rim rejection again for the Nova Scotia native.
He's struggling with his outside shot, or at least early in the games we've seen the last few times, but he has not been healthy 100% for the last month or so easily.
Now missing this shot is our player to watch in a Galaxy uniform in Dyson III, the Austin Pay product, the Governors as they're called. Audie pulls up the tray, won't go. Offensive rebound by Thomas, splash.
And he'll just do the dirty work otherwise and get his points that kind of way.
Hey, that's got to feel good for Thomas, though. He had no points in last night's game.
Well, I am personally, looking at him, you know, as a fan, I said, I'm not really worried about him. Let's see the playoffs. We'll see the real Terry Thomas in the playoffs.
Grayson Bakumanya was 7 of 22 in last night's game. He misses his opening shot here on your Saturday night, I beg your pardon. Terry Thomas coasted it off the square.
Thomas. Drive till you stop me.
So the Galaxy trail here by 3. Trying to tie it up right now is Williams. And again, he can't get this one to go. As a team last night from beyond the arc, Kalamazoo shot 26.7%. London shot 10% better, John, at 37.1. That was a key difference in the 17 points.
And I'll just reiterate again. So the number in my mind, when I hear those percentages of three-pointers, like if you're hitting 35% of three-pointers as a team, you're doing pretty good.
So going off of an earlier comment of Jean Couch not being, you know, ready for those passes, in that situation there, Terry Thomas has the easy 2 points, and he threw everybody off by trying to get it to Jean Couch.
Yeah, he probably had made his mind up before, right? So
now Jeremiah Mordi is commandeered. A little 4-on-4 crime back the other way. Beautiful play by Chad Bowie.
Yes, he stepped on a fan's foot on the out of bounds there. He was limping coming back.
Well, you love the baselines here at Budweiser Gardens, John.
Well, the only thing I don't like is the signs there. The fans are far enough back. That's not a problem.
Audie from distance. It's good.
Yeah, Audie, he has really come into his own. The second half of the year, the coach has given him tons of playing time, tons of starts. You know, he's got the confidence is sky high.
Marcus Audie played 43 minutes of action last night. He was 5 of 9 from downtown. He had 8 rebounds, 8 assists. He was almost in that triple-double category like Jermaine Haley with his 22 points in the game. And here he is trying to add to more here on his weekend against back-to-back occasions against the Galaxy. Jermaine Haley lost it. Plinko's back to Jean Couch. Into the corner. Mordi, it's good.
That was a fortuitous Plinko, is right. So.
Wait, you got to be lucky to be good. Good to be lucky.
That's what they say, but I'd rather not give the ball up.
Step back 3. Oh. Bang! Ooh, tasty from Chad Bowie.
Okay. Maybe they got their shooting eyes on tonight. They're missing them a bit last night, just other than Dyson.
Chad Bowie was 2 of 8 from downtown last night. He had 18 points and a double-double, John, with his 10 assists over 34 minutes of action. A travel will give the Galaxy the ball back. Interesting to note, Coach Eco, again, the third head coach for the Galaxy in their history in their inaugural season, but he actually has history of winning basketball in Kalamazoo. He's won back-to-back A1 state championships at the Kalamazoo high school level.
No kidding. Wow, that's a big deal.
And here's the big man from the Congo. Can't get this one to go. You were shocked that he shot the ball so often from downtown, but he was 3 of 7 in last night's game.
He was 3 of 5 at one point. Maybe 1 or 2 times I thought, I don't know if you should shoot it, but he's actually got a pretty decent stroke from out there.
Nifty pass from Mordi. Not being able to cap it off was Audi. Punching at it was Jean Cooch. Turnover at midcourt. Thomas goes right after the Congolese defender, but can't get the basket to go.
Active hands again by young Cooch there again.
Jeremiah Mordi requesting the screen. Kicks it into the corner. Jermaine Haley fakes the shot. Step back. No, fakes it over to Thomas. Shot clock, I thought it had expired. In fact, that never touched the rim, so it does expire.
Yes, it did, yeah. Just a little too much hesitation by Haley that time. A little unselfish, maybe.
Should have just taken the shot.
I think so. Like, shoot in rhythm, right? He caught the ball on the baseline. Sort of thought about it, but if you just caught and shot, percentages are a lot better, we know.
London lead by 4 here, just about 4:45 into the game. Arsenio Arrington.
They're shooting the ball well to start with.
The bottom of the cup is good, and the lead's been cut down to 2. Remember, London was on a 12-2 run to start the second quarter alone. For primarily the majority of that game, they led by double digits, John. A much different-looking Galaxy out of the gate here tonight.
So Haley getting an early sub here. Isom coming on. Like I said, Haley played a lot of minutes last night. He did a lot of work last night as well. So.
I know it's way early, John, but both teams shooting over 50% from the field right now. Well, they were shooting both below 30% in the second quarter last night.
They both started off poorly last night, yes.
Jeremiah Mordi
couldn't
get it to go.
So active, young Cooch. He's just so quick with his feet off the floor and his long arms. Just gets to the rim first before any other player.
The South Sudan native helping out his fellow African with the Nigerian off the miss. 6:35.
Just keeps the ball alive so often on the offensive end.
Ed Dyson III, our player to watch in this game, trying to get his first points and does over Marcus Audi. And you talked about their sharp shooting, John. They continue it here midway through the opening quarter.
Well, sometimes it's contagious as well, right? You get somebody hot and another person makes one and third person makes it.
Marique Isom hits the front of the rim. Jean Cooch on another offensive rebound.
He's probably got like 4 offensive rebounds already.
Marcus Audi, in your opinion, too open? But it's Terry Thomas acting like a bulldog underneath. They're going to say over the top.
Over the top, yeah. That was just, Jerry Thomas was outmatched there, but just sort of, physically bumped into him, backed into him, and go straight up.
A little hard not to get an over the top when you're 7 feet tall, though, right?
Yes, but if you don't put your arm back down, like you make that break in that verticality, right? That's what the referee's calling.
Be more of a skyscraper.
Yeah, well, you can still intimidate. You might be able to block it because you're 7 foot, of course, but hey, you're pretty well dead duck when you got a player underneath there.
So Terry Thomas makes his first from the line. As a team, both teams didn't shoot too well from the charity stripe in last night's game. We harped on the Galaxy, who shot 58.5 or 58.8%. They were 20 of 34. London technically shot worse, but they had less attempts from the line. They were 8 of 15.
Yeah, they didn't get to the line very much last night.
Another nylon twist from distance, and the Galaxy continue to roll. It's the Tougaloo College product, Stanley Williams. We're all tied up at 15 in the opening quarter. Not what most Lightning fans were expecting after last night's contest. Marique Isom. Miscommunication with Mordi. It goes out of bounds. It'll be Galaxy ball.
Just a little rush that time on the pass, but good
that's a turnover
as well. Yeah, it's about 3 or 4 now. So
it's their 4th of the game. They had 29 in last night's game, but they won by 17. How do you harp it?
We can say the Galaxy did not shoot the ball well to start the game with. Third quarter, they made a bit of a run. One player in particular, Dyson, shooting the ball well, got it down within 7. But then they had some lapses of concentration last night, and London took advantage of it. But I would say overall it was a sloppy win. If you're a London Lightning's fan, it was a sloppy win last night.
And you mentioned it, London were actually held to beneath 50 points at the halftime break, but it was the offensive bonanza, especially in that fourth quarter, that launched them over the century mark. It'll be interesting for Galaxy fans, too. Your inaugural season, I know I keep harping their third coach, but hey, they say third time's a charm for Coach Eco.
Could be.
But I think, too, what if they had Justin Moss still on the team right now? He was averaging 22 points and 10.4 rebounds a game.
He was their leading scorer, also rebounder. Like, that's a big loss. Got picked up by Windsor Express here in the Basketball League of Canada. And yes, that is a big equation that the rest, who's going to pick it up, right? So last night we saw Dyson sort of step into that role. I see it more and more of him doing that kind of idea. So, yeah, that's a big loss for them.
And this is an important game for the Lightning because if they want any chance at catching Sudbury for first overall and therefore playing the fourth seed rather than 2 versus 3 come the opening round of the postseason, well, they're going to have to win tonight. They're going to have to win their next 2 games in KW, and they'll have to win their final game of the regular season versus the Sudbury 5.
Well, they'll have 3 games on the road before their first playoff home game, of course.
Tentatively scheduled Game 1, May 6th. Game 2, May 9th. Tentatively.
One's a Saturday and one's a Tuesday, yes.
So how impressed are you with the Galaxy? 5:32 remaining in the opening quarter. They find themselves in a tie ball game here on the road.
Off to a great start. A little better organized on offense, of course. Probably did some X and O's and some blackboard and chalkboard work, I'm sure, during the day today. Because they're all here in London, staying probably at the hotels. They had time together.
Being rejected on his way to the hoop, and they'll end up calling that a travel. Dyson will argue, hey, I lost it on my way up, though.
I thought Lard got his hand on the ball. I thought they were going to call for a nice block there, but then he came back down with the ball again, so it's a travel. Once you go up, you got to at least make a pass, make a shot. Something's got to happen.
And interesting to note on the London bench, you see the assistant coaches and Michael Provenzano and Dave Sewell. Who do you not see? Doug Plum on the coach's table.
What's going on there?
I'd assume he's just trying to give a door of opportunity for Michael Provenzano and Dave Sewell to strut their stuff in this final game of the regular season versus a TBL opponent.
I thought maybe he's running another marathon or something.
Well, he does that quite often. That's
what
true.
I'm saying, right? You know, maybe he's off running.
He also runs Grit Day Performance Center out in British Columbia, so he's a man of many missions. But again, Michael Provenzano technically undefeated in his coaching debut last year in 2022. So if this is games going down officially without Doug Plum, he'll look to go to 2-0. If you look at the overall winning percentage of head coaches in the league, he'd be number 1.
Usually there's a minimum requirement, but yeah, okay.
In this league, John, come on. In all honesty, though, you look at a guy like Bill Jones from the Windsor Express, over 160 wins in his illustrious NBLC coaching career. As missing both from the line are the Galaxy. And you can hear the crowd erupt out of that one, John. Marique Isom from Marcus Oddie. Throws this one back to Terry Thomas. Requires a screen from Lard. Thomas goes right after Arsenio Arrington. The ball ricochets around. Adams doesn't recognize the time expiring. Isom with a prayer. He wanted a call, John.
Now, if I were a player, I'd really appreciate the statistician not counting that as a shot attempt. That's 0 for 1 for 3, but like I had to throw the ball up, and my teammates didn't know his clock was running out. That's unfair.
Chad Bowie adds to his points here. He's got 7 already of the 17, and the Galaxy have a lead here, John, on the road in Canada.
Sustainability, that's the key, right? Can they do it for all 4 quarters?
Marique Isom harassed. They're going to say he was fouled.
I think he was held that time.
Did we get that on camera? Chad Bowie.
I'm pretty sure he was held.
Listen, I know it's not going to count, but that was pretty sweet. The bounce pass off the backboard, single solo alley-oop jam.
That's the game of horse, right? You always do that kind of shot.
Oh, I'm sure you do in your driveway all the time, John.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to bank this one off the attic window, off my windshield.
Off the side of the house, actually, yeah.
and then insurance gets called.
No.
Jeremiah Mordi into the key. They say he was fouled.
Reaching
4-on-4
foul
violence
time,
on Chad Bowie.
And that's still, Mordi, we didn't hear too much last night of him, but he's going to be a big part of going forward for the London Lightning in the playoffs. He's one of those kind of players, just like Jordan Burns. Like, if they can dribble penetrate to the foul line or step in, I mean, good things happen for London Lightning when those two players are able to dribble penetrate to the foul line. Good things happen. That's what he did there. He drew a foul that time.
Adams gets called for the travel. I thought they were calling him for stepping out of bounds in front of the Galaxy bench, but he must have taken one too many steps before going into his shooting formation.
He shuffled his feet when he had the ball, I think.
With 4 minutes remaining in the opening quarter, John, you got to feel great if you're a Michigan basketball fan right now.
They're doing terrific right now.
Arrington, guarded by the Texas native, and Isom looks to kick this one out and finds a teammate barely in Bowie. Tried to get it to Dyson the third. They're going to say Isom touched this last. So again, for the Kalamazoo Galaxy, they'll be in action, John.
I know, 3 games
Sunday.
in a row, 3 days in a row. With travel on it.
Versus the Lebanon Leprechauns back at home, and it's an earlier start at 5 p.m.
That's a goaltending.
They're calling goaltending on this one.
The ball definitely was on the way down, but that was pretty good vertical to get that as a block. Well, it didn't count, sorry.
Well, at the same time, though, John, the Galaxy have their biggest lead in Canada in their history. It's 4 points right now. You'll take every little thing you can, especially on these road trips.
They just got to not have lapses of concentration like they did last night in 2 of those quarters, and they really let London sort of get away with things.
Cameron Lard looked like a moving screen provided for Adams, not called. Isom trying to bank in a 3. It won't go. And now the Galaxy look to add to their 2-possession lead.
And take advantage of the poor shooting, cold shooting from London right now. Take advantage of it.
Jermaine Haley rejects Dyson the third on the way to the basket. 3-on-2 the other way. The Nigerian and Mordi can't get it to go. Trying to clean it up is Isom. I thought he threw an elbow in there, John, but it's Arsenio Arrington pulling it out of danger. He zigzags around Lance Adams. Power moves his way up. Second rejection in a row by Jermaine Haley.
A little out of control on both ends, but some terrific defensive plays as well.
Jermaine Haley was trying to catch that alley-oop from Mordi. He'll be rejected here and trying to follow it up, and they do.
Behind the back pass, no less.
The 7-footer and Traylon Adams did get a block in there, but the Lightning followed it up.
Yeah, good persistence there by Jermaine Haley. He stuck with it.
Less than 2.5 to go here in the opening quarter. You see the Juba South Sudan native in Jean Couch at the scorer's table, ready to check into this game. As you're taking another look at the Jermaine Haley block, but the BC native follows it back up. Not afraid to throw the elbow in there before the drop pass back to Mordi. As Cameron Lard and 1. London's offense rumbling here late in the first quarter.
Yeah, he's working hard down the defensive end with those blocks as well, and he ran the floor hard. Perfect timing on the pass by Mordi that time. Got him in stride.
Almost like a hockey shift on the court for the Galaxy. 4 off, 4 on for Coach Eco.
Okay, so a few more subs coming in the bench. A little more frequent substitution as well.
Cameron Lard, who's a Louisiana native and a product of Iowa State, can't cap off the and 1 play. We're all tied up at 19 apiece here on your Saturday night in the TBL's Kalamazoo Galaxy facing off the NBLC's London Lightning. Thanks for joining us on both NBLC TV and TBL TV. Arsenio Arrington dialing up a 3, won't go. Easy peasy to the recycling bin for Trenton Temple.
I don't know why why he went all the way back out. He had the guy in the corner. He didn't block him out at all.
$1:40 remaining in this opening quarter. Far elbows, Mordi. The floater is good.
Okay. Like I said, he gets inside that foul line, all right? He dribble penetrates to the corner of any one of those foul lines. Good things happen usually.
Trenton Temple.
That's a pet shot for him.
Moved it into the front court and gave it over to Orlando Little Jr. Now it's Arsenio Arrington into the far corner. In front of the London Lightning bench, not being able to get this one going is Muffion Joyner. Haley back the other way like a freight train. He won't slow down, but at least he'll go to the line for 2.
Absolutely. Defense kept backing off on him. Not till the last second did they challenge him. That's good movement by Haley, and great follow-up again by Lard that time. I don't know if you saw that after the whistle. He's the first one down the floor right after Haley and got that rebound.
Jermaine Haley played with the Grand Rapids Gold in the G League between the 2022 championship and his 2023 stint here with the Lightning. What's interesting to note is on the other end of the court, Arsenio Arrington, who's there in number 15, also played for the Grand Rapids Gold of the G League in 2022 for 3 games.
Oh, just recently then. That was just last year, 2022.
Haley had a chance to break the tie. Well, he gets another opportunity from the line here.
I'm interested to see if London will get to the line a little more, to be a little more aggressive going to the rim and getting some of those offensive rebounds and drawing some fouls.
They only got to the line 15 times last night, and they made 8 of their shots. So far, they are 1 of 4 in the game. Arsenio Arrington, turnaround Jay. That ball was halfway down, John. Now Haley had to get rid of this or it would have been a turnover, and it is anyway.
Again, a mistake. You jumped in the air before you actually know where you're going to make the pass. If you watch that pass, he's dribbling the ball and he jumps in the air and then, whoops, my guy maybe is open, maybe not open. Don't do those kind of things. Keep your dribble alive till you know where you're putting the ball.
And Adams with the bank bailout of a foul at midcourt to delay the Galaxy offense coming back down.
Yeah, they only had 2 team fouls. That was a good foul.
40 seconds left in the opening quarter. Jean Couch.
A screen away, and then he rolls to the basket, and nobody switched on London Lightning.
Trenton Temple, a perfect 2 for 2 for 4 points in this game so far. 23 points by the Galaxy. 15 have been provided by the combination of Bowie and Williams. They look to add to their 1-point lead here. Orlando Little Jr., it won't go down. They fight for the basketball. It's Adams up the court. Pushing with numbers is the Lightning. Jermaine Haley, nifty pass. Mordi to the bank. Kalamazoo not slowing down. Recognizing that the clock's expiring to end this first quarter. With 1 second left, the shot's away. It won't go down for Orlando Little Jr.
That was a great first quarter. A little bit sloppy maybe for a few possessions there, but really both teams going hard at each other and some very good shooting by the Galaxy.
Both teams were shooting well below 30% after this junction of last night's game 24 hours ago, yet right now the Galaxy are shooting 45.5% as a team from the field. London not too far behind at 38.5. You go to the 3 ball, by the way, John.
Yep.
The Galaxy have made 3 of 9. Remember, they were 1 of 10 last night.
I know sometimes you live and die by certain things, right? But they're doing a good mixing up of their combination of shots this year.
London 5 turnovers over the first 12 minutes.
That's going to be a problem. How many points off of turnovers for? 6 points for the Kalamazoo Galaxy off turnovers. They had 25 points off of turnovers last night.
Now Kalamazoo, by my records, has at least 3, if not 4 players at the 7-foot range. Traylon Adams is 7 foot, Grayson Bakumanya is 7 foot, and Arsenio Arrington, I guess they officially list at 6'9". Why do I mention that, John? Well, 24 hours ago, after the 12 minutes was in the bag, John, the Lightning were enjoying a 6-point lead in a 22-16 game. Well, they're enjoying a 1-point lead tonight, 24-23, as we get into the second quarter of this affair. Oh, my word. That's Trenton Temple. He's been picante to start this game, John. 3 of 3 from the field.
I like that, yeah.
Jeremiah Mordi, he's been pretty hot as well. He's the leading point getter so far after the first quarter with 9 points for the Lightning, 4 of 7 from the field. Jean Couch trying to add to his 4 points. The rim rejects him though. He gets it right back, and he'll be fouled as he was trying to attack the rack.
Yeah, I mean, I was curious to see what his post-up play would be. A little bit slow, but with him, he's got length, right? He's got fairly soft touch around the rim, and he gets up so quick. That is just, if you're a defender, you know what the guy's going to do, but you just can't do it quick enough. You can't keep up with him. It's not that he's running fast or going hard. He just leaps so quickly.
Jean Couch misses the first from the line. Although I'll say this, in baseball, it's all about scoring runs, John. But when you hit a home run, the crowd gets kind of into it.
I agree.
And Jean Couch, it's about getting points, although he misses a second from the line here. But when he's going up for those hammers, you can tell that the crowd gets into it.
Absolutely. But, I don't do a hammer at the expense of missing the shot.
That's true.
That's always my mantra.
Especially come playoff time.
Exactly. Get the 2 points.
But I do like that it's like that firecracker energy when the crowd's acting like a library. You can be, hey, throw this in there.
I got you. So, yep.
Elijah Lufiel will go to the line. He played 3 years at Oral Roberts. They're known as the Golden Eagles, John, where he started 13 of 54 games. He joined the Lightning via the Brampton Honey Badgers when the Honey Badgers were playing in the Basketball Champions League Americas tournament, where they went 0-5.
Yeah, but at least they were playing in it, right? So
yeah, that's true.
They're good enough to play in there.
And I know the Williams Jones Cup is coming up too, John. You know about that as a basketball fan?
I don't know about that, no.
Oh, it's an international tournament where Canada sends a team to represent Canada, but it's not the actual Basketball Canada organization.
Yeah.
As trying to commandeer the pass in was Orlando Little Jr. A little give and go with Joyner, but actually rejecting himself, so to speak, was Little Jr.
And that's exactly what I mean there. Like, this is a wide open attempt. Slam it down. Get the crowd going.
But I agree with Joyner, John. He clearly had fouled Mordi prior to making the pass. That play should have been blown down, and Elijah Lufield never should have got that
so
basket.
Fast, you couldn't see it, man, other than up here.
Well, there's supposed to be three sets of eyes looking at it, John.
On the other hand, the Galaxy player tried to dunk it from underneath the basket. Just make sure the basket first.
Trying to dial this up from almost the logo was Michael Farmer, but the crops are droughtful from downtown.
Well, this is where last night we saw some mental lapses of concentration, right?
Marcus Oddie, bang.
He's money from there, I tell you.
So far to start off this quarter, the Galaxy do have some points, but it's a 5-2 mini run, if you will, early.
But I do see a lot more structure in their offense tonight.
As Joyner almost lost it, getting it back is Temple,
Terrific
reversing this
play.
and getting it to go.
Instead of forcing it, just fake the defender over and put the easy put back in there.
Chad Bowie, Trenton Temple, both a perfect 4 for 4 from the field. They both have 8 and 9 points respectively for the Galaxy.
So some different players picking it up tonight.
Mordi out to Thomas, 3 balls away, clangs out.
It's a wide open look though, and typically you would want him to shoot that all the time, all night long, but he has been struggling with his shot.
After the second rebound of the game for Joyner, it's a 3 ball from the far wing, and it's a splash for Orlando Little Jr.
To play tonight, didn't they?
He was 0 of 3 from the field before that shot. It's his first make and his first points here in London. As Elijah Lufield will be hammered, and he'll be going to the line.
Again, an offensive rebound again. Kalamazoo giving it up. And Elijah Lufield that time, good patience, little head fake, and got foul on the way up.
Well, Elijah Lufield, 6'7". Grayson Macubanya, 7 foot. Again.
I think the weight's about the same though, right?
Right.
Lufield's a well-built
And you just made the point though, John, that it's not always about the height, it's about the will to get the basketball, and Elijah seems to be showing that.
Oh, we've seen that all season from him. I would not be surprised if he's a leading offensive rebounder in London if we did some deep digging.
Looks like a timeout is called down at the scorer's table as his coach Eco getting his boys some rest. They do still have a 1-point lead though here on the road, John. Quite surprising to most NBLC fans at least.
Well, like I said, we don't really know a lot of the teams coming from the States, so this is our very first look last night at Kalamazoo Galaxy. Well, and it's the first season as well, right? So we have no history with them as well. So, but based on last night, I saw, not a really bit of a disjointed offense. I'm not sure who the leader on the team was till the third quarter, till Dyson stepped up. Tonight, it looks like way more structure on their offense. Even on defensively, it looks like they're a little more organized, except the offensive rebounds. Just to me, you're forgetting what's happening on the court. You're watching the shot, you're watching the ball hit the rim, and you're going after it. Well, first thing you do when the ball goes up in the air is you box out. You make contact with your man. You touch him. Anything just so that he can't get to the basket. Just that elbow will put him out. Just your butt in his stomach. Something, and then you go after the ball. Don't just go after the ball because a lot of times you're going to get beat to it or out jump.
Versus the TBL in 2023, the London Lightning started off with 3 straight wins in Newfoundland Labrador versus the Rogues. They won 115-101, 102-93, and then an interesting 108-104 overtime win where they were all tied up at 104 going into the extracurricular basketball. They then beat the Rogues 131-115 here at London back on February 11th. Then we had teams from Kokomo. Kokomo lost 103-85. Team from Jamestown and the Jackals lost 96-91. And Kalamazoo, well, last night was 107-90. London did lose a game this year, though, to a TBL opponent that was on the road against the Albany Patroons on Friday, March 31st. They lost 96-91. Now, the only excuse I will give the London Lightning, though, is that game was originally slated to be the Syracuse Stallions and was switched up about 5 days prior to the game. Both Jermaine Haley, Terry Thomas, and Marique Isom were all unavailable for that contest.
Big losses there. Like I said, it looks like the full roster of the Galaxy are here tonight, so it looks like he's playing a few more players tonight as well.
Well, you make a good point, though, because you go back to last year, we saw teams like Lansing and Flint, you know, 2 or 3 players didn't make it across the border. But then this year, Jamestown and Kokomo had about 4, 5, or 6 players that couldn't make it across the border.
They did, yeah.
And actually, again, going off of my conversation with Coach Dodd before the game, he said before the season began, no, we crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's when it came to passports and all that rigmarole.
Good for them. Oh, yeah, way more structure in their offense tonight.
Not being able to make this 3 ball is Orlando Little. Now he is 1 of 3 from downtown. Terry Thomas somehow found Jermaine Haley in all that traffic. He crosses the court back to the fellow Canadian. Thomas lost it.
Well, that's what Thomas does well, right? Drive, 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 draw the foul, draw the foul, draw the foul. And then go back to your shooting.
Lightning again will be playing the KW Titans on Wednesday, April 26th in their next game. They do play the Titans again 4 days later at the Auditorium. That's a 2 p.m. tip-off on your Sunday, April 30th. And as I mentioned, last game of the regular season after 3 straight road games, John, will be against the Sudbury 5 in Nicholtown. That's on Tuesday, May 2nd, and slated for a 7 p.m. tip-off. As Terry Thomas makes these, and his team's up by 2 with 8:44 remaining before the recess break.
Yeah, if everything holds up to form, that's going to be a big game the last night before the playoffs start for first or second place.
Perimeter passing exploited here by the Galaxy.
Look, London's playing his own defense. If you notice that.
Trenton Temple. You know what? He just missed technically his first shot of the game, so he says, let me correct that real quick, and puts back his own garbage.
Well, you're padding your stats because you got a rebound, right? So Moses Malone was always good at that. He'd miss all those little puppies underneath, but he's such a great offensive rebounder. He'd get 3 rebounds on 1 possession and 2 points.
Well, I know they were kind of, you know, harping on Giannis for that. They've even taken some rebounds away.
Okay.
Yeah, they can't get too crafty with the scores table not catching on.
If you're persistent, you've earned it. So.
By the way, Trenton Temple now leading everybody on the court with 11 points. He's got 1/3 of the Galaxy offense so far on your Saturday evening. Terry Thomas almost digs his head directly into the grill of Trenton Temple. Then he gets bailed out by the official.
Yeah, that was a tough call.
To me, that's the second time he's been bailed out by the referee's whistle, to be honest with you.
Thomas is strong with the dribble, but referee deemed that the defensive player was doing some control, some push-off with his off arm.
Just the second game in their franchise's history in Canada for the Galaxy. Back-to-back nights here in London.
Both teams have gone to a zone. Interesting.
Marcus Oddie trying to break it. Cuts it out to the zone splitter, and he splits it down.
Zone buster, I call him. You like splitter, I like buster. See what they're going here. Oh, out of control that time. You got, well, I'm not going to say bailed out.
Well, that Orlando Little, though, patty caking it in won't count.
Yeah, okay.
As it will be Mafion Joyner heading to the line, I believe, to shoot 2.
I like the idea he's driving in, but not when you're out of control. But he did draw the foul, so.
Joyner in last night's game was 24 minutes on the hardwood. He was 1 of 2 from the charity stripe. He fouled out of last night's game, John, after just accumulating 7 points. And he misses the first shot from the line here. So a 7-point game last night where he fouled out. And Joyner gets his first points of this game. He does have 2 assists and 2 rebounds so far here in the second quarter. Terry Thomas guarded fiercely on the far side by Michael Farmer. Elijah Lufield kicks it out to Thomas. Too strong of a pass, goes right through the wickets of Haley.
Yeah, got deflected, and then Haley couldn't quite react in time to catch that ball.
London having a 1-point lead here in the second quarter, John.
Yeah, Galaxy staying right with them. Shot for shot, possession for possession.
London was leading in last night's game 22-16 after the opening quarter of play, and they led 49-33 at the halftime break. A different story, though, 24 hours later in downtown London. Almost an errant pass, corralled in by Trenton Temple, but the desperation shot won't go, and it's a former TBL product in Adams pushing it through Marcus Oddie to 2.
That's the man to give it to when you're outletting the fast break. Give it to Oddie. He is just a blur.
And just checking the out-of-town scoreboards for you on the other two international interleague affairs. The Jamestown Jackals are currently leading the Sudbury 5 with 3:28 remaining in the second quarter, 43-38.
Oh, LaFille finishes after getting banged.
And he gets help from a gentleman enjoying a beverage down at the baseline.
At least he didn't lose his beverage. That's good.
And typical of TBL teams, there's no update from the state of Indiana just yet. Although I say this, 7 p.m. they have it at Eastern, but isn't Indiana one time zone over?
I have to think about that one.
Are they not in that Chicago time zone?
They might be 1 hour over.
So they might be at the 8 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly.
Might be a typo. I'm trying to bail somebody out here.
Yeah, you might be right there.
Elijah Lufield.
Also, the last two possessions, Galaxy sort of got away from what their offensive rhythm was, offensive set. A couple of rush shots, and London made them pay both times.
It is sort of an interesting mix for Coach Echo on the court right now for the Galaxy. Although the floater is a thing of beauty from Michael Farmer.
That was a great look away as well.
Just a teardrop.
Yeah, he looked away to his right and just froze the defender, and then great finish on the end.
Almost looked like a double team was trying to come after Audie. They didn't like it, though, and they go back to the man. Elijah Lufield kicks this one out to Thomas. Thomas into the paint. Try to get it back to Lufield. I don't know what Thomas is arguing there. A kick ball?
He thought it was a kick ball, but there was no motion to the ball by the defender. So.
Which is funny because then he clearly hacks Orlando Little Jr. and there's no call. Little Jr.'s going to try and add to his points, but can't do it here. And it's Terry Thomas, of all people, pulling away the rock. Coast right over Orlando Little Jr. It's 2-10. Lightning currently battling out this second quarter. It's an 18-13 second cue after having a 1-point lead after 12 minutes.
Drive. Switch to his left hand to finish that off.
Trenton Temple continues to rumble on your Saturday night. He is 6 of 8 from the field and has 13 of the 38 Galaxy points.
Yeah, where was he last night?
Yeah, I mean, it was Bakumanya in the opening half, and it was Ed Dyson the third in the second half. But for a guy like Trenton Temple, he only had 22 points off the bench. He was 1 of 4 from the field and had just 2 points. But something must have been said at the team breakfast because he got into the action, John, and he's been making Coach Echo look like a genius.
Yes, I'm not sure. You know, maybe some inner dynamics going on there with the team. Who knows? But he's playing great tonight.
Grayson Bakumanya, who had 13 rebounds last night, picks up his 4th in this game. But, John, he doesn't have any points so far in this game. He's 0 of 3 from the field. He'll watch his teammate bank this one high off the window. He must have been good at geometry class. Orlando Little Jr. gets the 2 points.
Orlando Little Jr. doing a Tim Duncan, right, off the backboard.
And again, after the timeout, they're down by 2, but you can see the energy out of the Galaxy. They know they're in a contest.
Great observation. Great team building sometimes when you go on the road as well, right? You're playing a tough opponent, and you're playing them back-to-back, and the first night you sort of get gobsmacked. You go, I didn't know it was like this. Great arena, great crowd, really good team, you know, so tonight they've adjusted. They're focused. They're playing great basketball.
And the Kalamazoo Galaxy play at the Wings Event Center. That's the same facility that hosts the ECHL hockey team, the Kalamazoo K-Wings. So they actually do come from a similar facility as far as a professional arena that hosts both a professional hockey and basketball squad. And very similar to London, which has Western University and Fanshawe College, Kalamazoo has Western Michigan and Kalamazoo College.
Okay. Maybe it's crossing that borderline that sort of got them gobsmacked at first, right? They're not quite used to Canada. So.
And out of 49 teams in the basketball league, 48, John, already had 1 loss on their record 5 games into the season. The Potawatomi Fire, though, were the last undefeated team at 6-0. Currently, they're sitting at 9-1 after losing to the Yanita Outlaws, a team that they ironically beat to go to 5-0 in this season. However, the Atlantic City Gambits in the Northeast Division and the Seattle Super Hawks in the West Division are both 11-1 for the best records in the TBL standings. Canadian teams, specifically in Quebec, not faring too well. The Montreal Tundra, 3-8. Academy Alma, 1-9. Newfoundland, I always forget about the Labrador part of that equation, John, but the Rogues, as they're known, remember, they struggled out of the gate, especially losing 4 straight games to the London Lightning in their encounters. Well, they've won their last 5 games. They've marched all the way back to 500.
Good for them. Well, they faced a tough opponent in London. My goodness, like anybody's going to have struggle playing with London.
Looked like Mordi was waiting for the ball to stop before he picked it up.
I don't know. not near the end of the quarter. I don't know what that was all about.
How many seconds do they have to cross midcourt, or if they don't touch it, the clock doesn't start?
I thought still was 8 seconds, but the clock doesn't start till somebody touches it, right? So
the one on the jersey must have been the Moses staffer, Marcus Audi, because he split the C there, John, and goes 2 to the 10.
yeah, he is very quick. He's just using it to his advantage.
Bakumanya from distance. Remember, he was 3 of 7 from downtown. Last night, he's 0 of 2 and still looking for his first points.
An alley-oop to Haley. He gets the return in the favor this time.
Jermaine Haley has this crowd on its feet. It's a 6-point lead for the Lightning. Less than 4 to go before the halftime break. Jumper this time is no good for Chad Bowie. That's his first miss of the game. What do they call that, a heat check, John?
They do, yes.
As Adams from distance, long distance charges may apply.
That's the kind of player that can get on fire. And his own buster is right. You can't leave him alone out there. He's willing to shoot it. And he's got a green light from his coach.
As the fans were watching back the Jermaine Haley alley-oop, it was Adams continuing to rumble with his points. And again, a bit of a funny story when it comes to Adams. Remember, he was playing in the TBL. He was a member of the Lansing Pharaohs. They're now known as the Oakland County Pharaohs. But here at Budweiser Gardens on March 6th of 2022, he had 28 points against the Lightning in 31 minutes of action in a Lansing Pharaohs loss. He played his last game in a Lansing Pharaohs uniform on April 2nd versus Cincinnati, and then on April 6th was in a Lightning uniform to take on the KW Titans.
I remember well that whole sequence. We called the game when he was playing it, and said, well, he could shoot the ball, that guy.
So wow. London saw a guy on the other league and went, oh, that's a cool gem we can put in a jewel case. Whereas Kalamazoo had their jewel case stolen from them because Justin Moss signed with the Windsor Express recently.
It goes back and forth, right? There's some players in the Canadian League here that are jumping to other leagues as well.
That's true, absolutely.
Sometimes for a longer contract or more money, so turnover is a part inherent in what I would call, sort of the minor leagues of baseball. That is part of the equation.
So no Jordan Burns tonight, and as we mentioned before, no Amir Williams, who's been placed on the injured reserve list, but on the list, but not in game wear, is Mike Nuga, the Toronto, Ontario native and UNLV product.
So I'm just looking at some of the team stats here. 3:40 to go. So only 2 turnovers in this half or in this quarter for Lightning. That's huge. But 12 offensive rebounds for London. This is where Galaxy have to clean up. They're matching it offensively. A couple of breakdowns here, but they cannot give up those second chance points.
Grayson Bakumanya.
I thought he got hit on the arm for sure, yeah.
I don't know what Lance Adams is trying to indicate down there.
I don't know exactly.
I don't know what's that.
And to Galaxy's credit, even with a lot of London pressure forcing the ball, they only have 3 turnovers. Remarkable.
Neither team shooting outstanding from beyond the arc. London's 4 of 17, that's 23.5%. Galaxy 4 of 15, that's 26.7%. That's just the 6th shot attempt from the free throw line for the Galaxy, John. They've only made 2, though. And for the Lightning, they've gone to the line, well, they're 1 shot away from matching last night's total before the first half's over.
I was wondering if that would happen tonight, because that would jump out to me as a coach, as a stats last night. Like, guys, we didn't get to the line enough.
So about 3 or 4 opportunities there. Bakumanya missed, Trenton Temple missed, and I think it was Chad Bowie eventually poking it in.
Tipped it in with his left hand, I believe, yep.
The lead is 7 for the Lightning with 3:10 remaining in the second quarter of play. Jean Couch and Haley, little give and go. Mordi from distance. Jean Couch pokes at it, back into the lap of the Lightning.
He won't get any credit for that on stats, right? But the teams that really do a lot of stats will track that, but it won't count in the official score.
That doesn't count as an offensive rebound, John?
No, because he never got control of the ball.
Oh.
It's just a deflection, those kind of things, right?
But that seems to be the patented Jean Couch move, is just to kind of jab the ball at midair.
If I were a coach over here, I'm doing stats, I would keep track of those kind of things as well. A lot of teams do at the NCAA level, and I'm not sure at this level if the teams do. It's not an official scorekeeper stat, is what I'm trying to say. Deflections or, tapping the ball off the rim or tapping the ball loose.
Looking down at the London bench, Marique Eisen continuing to warm those knees up on the bench as Mordi makes his first from the line. I don't see Doug Plum down there. It is Michael Provenzano and Dave Sewell, the assistant coaches, taking over the duties here on your Saturday night.
I thought maybe he might be up here doing something with us. Maybe Doug Plum.
Yeah,
looking from a bird's eye view.
No, I don't think so. Jermaine Haley He's been such a key member for this team as of late, joining from the Cleveland Charge and the Grand Rapids Gold of the G League. He had a triple-double last night, and so far tonight, John, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 points. The crowd getting loud here at Budweiser Gardens. Being double-teamed at midcourt is Stanley Williams. He breaks the double team down, and the Congolese product and Grayson Bakumanya gets the 2 points.
Yeah, see, they got to keep their composure here the last 2 minutes here. Galaxy, they're down by 7. See if they can keep it under double digits.
Offensive foul called against the Lightning.
Looked like he put his leading hand, arm off, and controlled the player and pushed him away. They're really emphasizing, that's a point of emphasis in the NBA as well, but also in the NCAA. It looks like it's trickled down this league as well.
By the way, I mentioned Marik Isom warming up on the bike. He might want to warm up those hands instead, John. 0 of 4 from the field, 0 of 3 from downtown, no points to speak of.
We should take one of those offers away. Remember, it was on a last second crazy pass to him. I better put the shot up. I got no hope. I would just hold on to it and not get my offer instead.
That's a real team player right there, John. As Chad Bowie misses this 3 ball.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't count it against them.
We're approaching the 2-minute warning here in the opening half of play on your Saturday night. Bakumanya, I believe they're going to say, was fouled by Jean Couch.
That was a low pass, hard to handle for the big guy. But young Couch just a little over-aggressive, pushing from behind is what the call was. That's the 4th team foul for Lightning, so Galaxy not in the bonus yet.
They got 2 minutes to work at this 7-point deficit in front of them. Bakumanya taking the inbound, guarded by Jean Couch, puts the shot over him, doesn't even touch the rim. Moving it in the front court is Mordi. Tap pass to Audi from Adams, and what's the call here, John? Travel.
I thought it was a travel too. I don't know why the near referee, in this case was Stellek, did not call that a travel, but it looked like a travel to me. I was going to say something, but the off referee down on the baseline called it.
The officials in Cho Walters are joining Rich Stellek, who is the crew chief for your 3 official crew here on your Saturday night. $1:40 remains on the second quarter clock at Budweiser Gardens. The Galaxy down by 7, trying to chew into it here. Stop, pop, and lock it down, indeed.
Well, we haven't heard much from Dyson between middle of the first quarter to the middle of the second quarter, but he's come back into the game.
Just his second bucket of game, John, 4 points.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Mordi loses Chad Bowie with the crossover and burns him for 2.
Crossover and a step back, wow.
So the Galaxy, they got to trust the system and stick to it, especially at this point of the game, John, when they're starting to trail.
Yep. Down to 10 seconds in shot clock. Got a free lane. Big guy set sort of a moving screen for him.
And there was a whistle there, John.
I'm not sure what that was.
Oh, for a second there, I thought there might have been a late foul call on Jean Couch, but it's London ball anyway, and they say the Williams points count, so it's now a 5-point lead with 50 seconds left here for the home squad. Trenton Temple and Jeremiah Mordi both leading their respective squads with 13 points each. Audi to Jean Couch. Oh, me!
Oh, my. I just love that he didn't throw it too high either. Just put it right in his hands, and he can just lift it up and over the rim.
The deflection goes into Haley's lap. One-on-one the other way. Haley tried to throw it down. It pops out to Mordi. Mordi spinning around. He'll lose it as he take a look back on the Jean Couch alley-oop hammer.
Okay, so a little, I give him kudos to Galaxy for hardly any turnovers here. That was almost a costly one there. It is costly in the end that they got a foul, but Haley missed his dunk there. But Mordi following up closely. Again, another offensive second chance points here for London. They're sort of living and dying by that. They're just relentless on the boards on the offensive end, and that has given them their 7-point lead.
Jeremiah Mordi, a perfect 2 for 2 from the line so far here tonight. This one's good. He's 3 for 3, and as a team, London's now 10 of 17 from the line. Again, going back to the Galaxy, remember they're trailing here by 8. Well, they've already left 5 points off the charity stripe, and they're 4 of 16 from downtown. They just make a couple of those, John. We got to get a close game.
Well, it sort of mirrors what London's doing with 3-point and foul line as well, right? Right now, to me, the offensive boards is the Achilles heel for the Galaxy. London's got a lot of second chance points, and that is the difference so far in this game.
Shot clock turned off. Under 10 seconds to go. The Galaxy looking for the final points of this opening half on your Saturday night. Currently trailing this game by 9. A desperation shot goes up for Orlando Jr. And he's going to want that one back. And as a result, the Lightning lead 57-48 at the halftime break. But, John, they have turned over the ball 9 times. Your thoughts on that?
Well, okay, 4 in that quarter, 5 in the first quarter. I thought it's better. That's what I'm thinking it is. To me, I'm really impressed by London. We're not shooting the ball well, not from the foul line or the three-point line. They got to the foul line a lot more than they did last night's first half. And
they've already matched their total from last night in the opening half.
What I'm saying is they not shooting well, but they're going and get the ball again. So they already have, I think, 14 offensive rebounds already tonight, which is just crazy if you're a defender. Like, you wouldn't have that in the whole game.
Well, and we mentioned this last night. Both teams didn't start off the game too well shooting-wise from the field. No. Both were below 35%. Both are above 45% at the halftime break 24 hours later.
Yeah, so the two-point shooting, there's been a lot of good selections for shot selections and making it.
Trenton Temple's got to lead that category.
Yeah, three-pointers, both teams are sort of struggling. Both teams are struggling from the foul line. But to me, the difference is if the Galaxy can clean up the defensive boards or stop the offensive boards from London, they can stay in this game because they're matching them shot for shot.
I'll go one further for you. Last night, it was the Congolese native in Grayson Bakumanya, followed up by our player to watch tonight, and Ed Dyson III, who ended up with the most points in the Galaxy uniform out of last night's contest. Both of those two guys are struggling in the opening half, John.
They are, yeah.
If those two can get on the right page and join the likes of Trenton Temple and Chad Bowie in the second half, they could come back and make some history. Remember, no TBL team has won here at Budweiser Gardens.
I know, 13th attempt. Maybe it's tonight. The structure in the offense is you can see market improvement tonight for the Galaxy. London a little bit scrambly, I find, on their offensive, but they're working hard getting the ball back. So that's been a big difference.
It's an international interleague affair here on your Saturday night between the Galaxy and the Lightning. We'll have second half action after this quick break. a little late.
Good. Whew. I was wondering about that. But anyway, you still have to drive up here Friday.
That's true. You
and
still got bus legs.
And then you're playing 24 hours later here again on Saturday. And tomorrow you got to drive back somewhere between tomorrow and play tomorrow again. Oh, my goodness.
Maybe I'll do some of my Kalamazoo cuts again in the second half. But for the most part, John, you're talking about a 4-hour and 15-minute bus ride across the border from southwestern Ontario to the southwest region of the Michigan State. So here we go in the second half of action. It's the Canadians and Jermaine Haley and Terry Thomas working together. Diego Kaplan, first shot attempt, in and out for the rookie.
Looked good, though. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to call him a rookie. He's rookie on this team, I guess.
And the other way, Jean Cooch. They're going to say that was clean.
Oh, my goodness.
Although Arrington cleans it up.
Like he was going to dunk that ball, right? So was he not in his downward motion with the dunk? I know he's still touching it, but I guess you can block the ball if the other man's still touching it. So
Arrington was 1 of 4 from the field in the opening half, but he gets his second bucket of the game to start the third quarter. Jeremiah Mordi rims out. There's Jermaine Haley, your main, going down low and out battling 3 Galaxy. Kaplan, another attempt. Jean Cooch for the and one putback.
And one, another offensive rebound as well. Where are the box out from the Galaxy? They're watching the shots hit the rim, not putting a body on a man, not putting any contact. And you can't do that with young Cooch. He's always going after the ball.
We saw Diego Kaplan for, a minute last night. He didn't take a shot attempt. We've now seen him for a couple minutes. He took 2 shot attempts from downtown. But if you look down at the scores tape, I believe he's going to check back out for Marcus Oddie pretty quickly here.
Yeah, so this is part of the equation, right? He's got to get some playing time in and officially have played in a number of games for the playoffs. So he's officially on the score sheet now. He's taking 2 shots. He's got a couple minutes playing time, so he's in. But he needs a break. Based on everything I've read and heard, he needs to rest for at least another week.
Well, remember, in 2022, you needed a minimum of 6 games to be playoff.
Yeah, I think it's only 3 now, isn't it?
Well, they changed it into a deadline, and then they said that Diego signed at 11:59 on the dot.
Okay, well, he's going to get, 4 games? 3 more. So he's got 5 games, of which 2 he's only playing a couple minutes. So he's got basically 3 regular season games in the National Basketball League to sort of get acclimatized. Now, he's played a lot of basketball already, so.
And some big games on the horizon with 2 straight games at the Auditorium versus the KW Titans, and then their last game of the regular season, John, up in Nickeltown early May versus Sudbury.
Well, I think the only teams that aren't locked in, like the number 1 and 2 teams are locked in for home games, but not for position, Sudbury and London, and the other 2 teams are locked in for
3 and 4,
playing away 3 and 4, and no way KW is catching Windsor anymore with the number of games left. So
Terry Thomas makes both from the line. You see Lennon sort of pulling away a little bit here early in the second half. Remember, it was a mini 5-2 run to start the second quarter. It's an even, I guess a larger mini 7-2 run to start the third quarter for the Lightning. Arsenio Arrington trying to change that.
Well, London's battling hard there. A bit of a forced shot that time, but this is what Terry Thomas does well. Run the floor and slice right to the basket. Again, who is the architect of that play? Jermaine Haley got the defensive board, brought the ball up himself, and got the assist for a nice basket for
Terry Thomas was 0 of 6 from the field and 0 of 4 from downtown in last night's contest where he had 0 points. But John, after that last make, he's got 12 points, 4 of 11 from the field. Still working it out from distance, 0 of 4 from beyond the arc, and 4 of 6 from the stripe.
You watch a Haley with that little pass he does just from his waist with his wrists. You know who was the best ever at that? Kevin Love. That is the hardest, really hard pass to put any kind of zip on when you just go like that. It's
nobody in Cleveland would give Kevin any love like that, John, so good on you. Doesn't he play for the Miami Heat now?
Yeah, he played a long time for Cleveland, of course, right?
But Cleveland
and for Minnesota.
Cleveland's literally paying him to play on Miami right now.
That's just the way, the nature of business sometimes. So you want to go
when they don't like you.
Well, no, when you want to go with a younger crowd and you're saddled with a long-term contract that you got to still pay out.
You're shipping to Miami.
Well, Miami is in the playoffs, right? And so is Cleveland. So did you watch the Knicks game in Cleveland the other night?
Bad spill by Chad Bowie. Non-call allows Audie through Haley. And back to your point, haven't caught a whole lot of the NBA postseason, but a big miss for the Philadelphia 76ers with Embiid out of the lineup.
I know. I don't know if you watched some of that contact between Claxton and Embiid. I thought a few dirty plays there with Claxton coming from behind. And And I don't know, and then Josh Allen trying to prevent that dunk from Embiid, he landed hard on his back. To me, that's a reckless play. I was
Listen,
surprised there wasn't a flagrant call on that.
I'm an old spirit, John, and I'm an 80s baby. I love the old school rough stuff. Bringing back the bad boys of Detroit Pistons.
I don't mind the physical at all, but
give me the Bill Lambiers punching you in the face.
But the late cheap shots, I don't like that at all.
So it is an impressive 14-point lead here for the London Lightning. Remember, they only led by 1 point after the first quarter. They did lead by 9 at the halftime break, but they continue to rumble on this 9-4 run to start the second half of play.
Well, they're sort of going against the run of the season here, London Lightning, in the third quarter. They've gotten off to many times, we noticed, a slow start, a lack of concentration in the third quarter, but not this time here. They really put the hammer down, and they've opened this up to a 14-point lead. And the Galaxy are a little off kilter right now. They're not able to generate any good open looks, and they're not getting back quick enough on defense.
So we saw Diego Kaplan again tonight for the second time in a Lightning uniform. We finally saw him take a shot from downtown. He's still waiting for that first make, though, John, as he's 0 of 2. But again, he's a McNessie State product. He played there.
McNeese, I think.
McNeese, sorry.
From
2007 to 2011. And then after that, he went over to Europe to play ball. He's an Austrian Bundesliga All-Star back in 2015. And like you mentioned, he played in the Greece A1 League recently, averaging 10.3 points, 1.9 rebounds, and 1.1 assists per game.
Well, I think the history is with Plum right back in high school. They were both terrific ball players. And Plum got a scholarship offer, and Kaplan didn't get one. So then they're playing summer league, and there's a player out there and a coach that had some connections, right, to Joe Dumars of all people. And he called up Joe Dumars and says, hey, get this kid a scholarship at McNeese, where Dumars went to, right? And he said, so they did, scout him out. He played for all 4 years there. And here he is now, 35 years of age, a veteran, great outside shooter, good friend of Coach Plum. Lots of leadership. Maybe he can bring that outside zone buster. Oh, no, splitter, sorry, you call it.
Kids, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
If you're good.
Terry Thomas from Jermaine Haley hits the front of the rim.
It's Dyson with the ball.
Yeah, it looked like he wanted to sprint and sort of put on the brakes before moving into the front court.
Was really coming back fast on defense that time, to their credit.
Chad Bowie pulling it up. Won't go down. A fellow forward, Mordi, rebounds it up to Audie. Pushing this up the court is the Toronto, Ontario native. He'll leave it there for the BC product in Haley. Out to the Nova Scotian.
Yeah, he hesitated shooting that time. Normally, he'd shoot that ball.
Now Terry Thomas leaves it to Jean Cooch. Up and down.
I like it. He stuck with it. And young Cooch always seems to slide into that open position, doesn't he? He just has that sense.
And I mentioned this last night as it's Dyson the third not making this one from the near wing. There's a Canadian African content on the court. Haley, Audie, and Thomas, both born in Canada, and John Cooch from South Sudan, and Mordi from Nigeria.
It's international flavor. We're in a country that has lots of international people moving here and living here as well and playing.
Like, to give you an example, John, you know, and again, you're comparing apples to peaches, peaches to pears. Grayson Bakumanya is the only non-American product on the Kalamazoo Galaxy. As Mordi from distance can't get this to go. The long two is a -1. And with 8 minutes to remain here in the third quarter of play, down by 16, the Galaxy are trying to nibble back into this contest. Stanley Williams rejected. Did that go through the cylinder?
No.
Like reverse?
Just hit the mesh. Yeah.
An optical illusion,
yes,
if you will.
Exactly. But again, no real offensive structure or pass that time. Just a forced drive by Kalamazoo.
Audie was trying to kick it into the corner for Haley. It goes off the hand of Dyson III. It'll maintain London possession here.
Well, again, you see a player jumping in the air, and he hasn't really made sure he can make the pass. Like, don't leave your feet. Keep your dribble alive before you throw that pass. Luckily, it wasn't a turnover for London Lightning, but we've seen that more often than not.
Haley from the end line finds Audie in front of his bench, gives it over to Cameron Lard. They'll move it back to midcourt to Jeremiah Mordi. Mordi pushes off the defender with his free hand and feeds Terry Thomas. The lob pass to Cameron Lard goes out of bounds.
Wow, he's calling a foul on Lard. I don't know. Over the back, throwing him away. Mr. Stellick, I don't know about that one. I thought it was just a smaller player undercutting Lard. I didn't think Lard had created a foul, but that's what Stellick has called.
The Galaxy will take every opportunity possible here, John. Down 68-52.
It's danger getting blown out here. don't steady the ship here.
Which is kind of shocking because let's face it, after last night's 17-point loss, we thought they might get blown out tonight. But then in the first quarter, the way they hung around.
Well, that'll help.
As Ed Dyson III, he is our player to watch in this game in a Kalamazoo jersey, makes his first points from beyond the arc. He's 1 of 3 on your Saturday night and 4 of 7 from the field. Off of the London miss, Dyson III trying to add to it. Trying to draw a call out of Terry Thomas, goes right into the grill of Rich Delic and says, hey, where is the call?
I thought that was a good play by Terry Thomas. Just kept his verticality and just stayed in the way.
Marcus Audi continues to rumble, John. He's got 13 points, 6 of 10 from the field. He had a bit of an impressive performance last night, and he continues to have an incredible weekend.
Well, you're talking about Audi here, right?
Marcus Audi.
Yeah, I am just so impressed with, well, I don't know if to call it growth. I'm just going to say he's becoming more and more an integral part of this team from what he brings to the table. His speed, outside shooting has been terrific as well. But just his speed to the rim, his ability to get the ball.
With the injuries and the musical chairs, which is inevitable in the NBLC with your roster, Marcus Audi has definitely been the consistency that Doug Plum has been looking for.
Like, you could call him the most improved player, but I'm just saying sometimes it's just a matter of a player getting some time, some playing time, right?
Cameron Lard gets the N1 play. He picks up the foul out of Trenton Temple, which will be his 4th of the contest.
Yeah, good back to the basket moving that time. A little bit of a power dribble, and then he kept the ball up high that time. Didn't allow anybody to strip it away from him. Well, I'm going on my theme with Audi, right? Sometimes you just need an opportunity to show what you're made of, what you can contribute to a team. And I think he's really getting that. He's taking it like 100%, showing the coach and the team what he can bring to a team. 2
games ago, Marcus Audi only had 8 points coming off the bench in 22 minutes in the win over the KW Titans. But then he had a 43 minutes of court time last night, John, where he piled in 22 points, 8 assists, and 8 rebounds. So far here tonight, Audi's got 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. At Adams, busts, splits. He desecrates the zone.
Okay, make it whatever you want to call it. Well, that makes it a 20-point lead. Oh, a tough drive to the hoop. He finishes there as well. Oh, my goodness.
And 1 as the Galaxy are going to the line through Chad Bowie, although he is 0 of 2 from the charity stripe, trying to add to his 13 points. Both him and Temple's 13 lead the Galaxy for their team. Jeremiah Mordi's 15 lead the Lightning and everybody on the court.
Well, London's getting any shot they want pretty well at will so far in this third quarter. Galaxy are struggling for any kind of a good open look.
Their 8th shot attempt from the charity stripe is good, and as a result, they're 3 of 8 in this game, John.
Yeah, they're not getting to the line near as much as they did last night. London a little more discipline on the foul side as well.
Both teams not shooting that well from downtown. Galaxy 5 of 21, Lightning 5 of 23. 5:35 remains here in this third quarter. Jeremiah Mordi just loses Mafion Joyner in the wind.
Just so smooth. He doesn't look like he's going that fast, but also he uses offhand that time, his left hand.
Well, remember, in games that Jeremiah Mordi has appeared in, the Lightning are a 10-1 squad. You could make the argument that with a few more games under his lap, he could be in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, that's the way what he's showing us so far, absolutely.
That's why you pay the big money for those seats. John, you may actually have the ball in your face.
I don't know if that's a bonus or not.
Depends on how much into the action you want to get. You always see that once or twice in NBA season, too, where an errand ball is going into the crowd and the random person on their phone or chatting with the person.
Not watching.
Bam, right in the kisser.
Yeah, and especially in baseball. Do not take your eye off that ball.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do that in baseball, I think you're asking for it.
Oh, my. Unless you're behind the screen, of course. But
I think a basketball, when it hits your face, at least it's filled with air. It's got a little cushion there. a baseball's, I think, is filled with a core and rubber. It's actually a bunch of string wrapped around itself a million times. Audi, are they going to say he stepped out of bounds? No, they're calling a foul on Dyson the third.
Dyson, yeah.
Kalamazoo trying to avoid to going 4-9 in 2023. London looking to improve to 21-6. And 13-3 here at home. Remember, they were 16-0 though here at Budweiser Gardens. That was playoffs and regular season combined last year.
Okay, so Lard got called for 3 seconds in the key that time. He's arguing vociferously about it. He had great position, though, but he just stayed in there too long. Not sure why he's complaining about it.
If you're the Galaxy, do you take a gripe at Cho giving their Dyson the third, the backtrack alley-oop?
I thought that ball was just thrown a little too far, I thought.
Beautiful setup by Michael Farmer,
yeah,
though.
Absolutely. Look who's coming back in the game, though, to steady everything. Mr.
And I
Haley.
was complaining on behalf of the Galaxy earlier because the official kind of lollygagged the ball in. That allowed London to backtrack as there's an and one play, a potential 4-point play for the Michigan native versus the Michigan team in Lance Adams.
He's shooting the ball well tonight. That must be his 4th or 5th three-pointer tonight already. And he is definitely got the green light, getting warmed up for the upcoming playoffs.
He does not shoot a 2-ball, John. He is 4 of 5 from the field, 4 of 5 from downtown.
Well, that's his role on the team as well, right? You'll rarely see him drive into the hoop.
I was going to say, if he takes a 2-ball, does Doug Plum make him do laps around the arena?
No, I think it's only on a fast break he'll do that, right?
I don't think even on a fast, he is not, I'd have to look at the stats. If he's attempted a 2-ball, it's less than 3% of his shot
when
selection.
When he's on the court with his fellow teammates, his role is to space the court. So he's going from baseline to baseline, and he's rotating around the three-point line. He's trying to get anybody's dribble penetrating so he can kick it out to him because he's sitting at the three-point line.
Mafion Joyner's first bucket of the game comes late here in the third quarter, but it's a much-needed one, John, as his team is trailing by 18 points here on the road. Marcus Oddie backtracks this out to Adams. He's trying to stay hot. Oh my.
Oh my is more like it.
5 of 6 from downtown. As some tomfoolery by the Galaxy offense allows London to grab the ball. Adams finally misses one.
I like what he did. He got his own rebound, brings the ball back out to try to set up the offense. His teammates are looking for him now, right? Because that's his role. He's a specialist. He's a three-point shooter. And especially when the three-point shooter's on, like, you just keep feeding him,
Taking again a look at the out-of-town scoreboard right now. The Jamestown Jackals are still leading over the Sudbury 5. 76-71. It is the start of the fourth quarter.
Okay.
No update yet from Indiana, as the KW Titans are in the state of Indiana to take the Kokomo Bobcats. Elijah Lufiel touches the Marcus Oddie miss last. It'll give the Galaxy the ball back.
Yeah, Galaxy have lost their way here on defense for sure. London getting their free looks at all kinds of wide open shots.
But we mentioned it in the halftime break. Grayson Bakumanya and Edward Dyson III, nowhere really to be seen on the stat sheet. Trying to change that equation here, though. Maybe I should talk more often. As Dyson III now has 13 points in the game. He's 6 of 11 from the field. Adams, this guy's just going to huck it from deep every time. Johnny doesn't make this last one.
Yeah, I don't think they really needed that one. A bit of a heat check. I think because they have a 20-point lead, you're not going to.
I thought the last one was a heat check, though. I mean, Dyson III trying to spin out of the double team. Can't get love off the rim. Now right underneath the basket.
Travel.
They're going to say travel. Traylon Adams still looking for his first points on your Saturday night. Rejected by Rich Stellick on that last one.
Good offensive board there, but he just panicked a little bit and shuffled his feet.
2:45 remains on the third quarter clock here at Budweiser Gardens on your Saturday night. The London Lightning find themselves back in action on Wednesday, April 26th. That'll be at the Auditorium in Kitchener to take on the Titans at 7 p.m. They'll play the Titans in a second straight game on Sunday, April 30th. That's a 2 p.m. start. You can go to the Auditorium or the KW Titans website for ticket information. I was going to say, is Adams going to attempt it from there? Because
only the shot clock's going down, yeah.
Isom from distance, It's good. Marique Isom, who was 0 of 3 from beyond the arc, gets his first points of the game with 2:24 remaining in the third quarter.
It's contagious, right? Hot shooting is contagious. You get confidence, and then the other players get confidence as well.
A 22-point lead for the Lightning on your Saturday night. Remember, they were only leading, John, 24-23 after the first quarter was over.
Yeah, Galaxy really played a very good first half, and we've been saying it on the air, like consistency is so hard, right? To play all 4 quarters at that intensity with that kind of composure, you know, with that kind of staying with the structure like the coach says, so that Galaxy got a little bit away from it this third quarter, and London took full advantage of it.
Well, I was just going to say, do you feel like the Galaxy got away from the game plan, or the Lightning adjusted to their game plan, or a little bit of A, a little bit of B?
I think the Galaxy started off the quarter poor, and London just seized the moment. They just seized the game by throat and just rammed it right down the Galaxy. They have not recovered.
Joyner now 5 points, 2 of 3 from the charity stripe, has 3 rebounds and 2 assists in this game. By the way, as far as foul trouble is concerned, Lance Adams, of all people, has 3 for the Lightning. Edward Dyson III has 3, and so does Arsenio Arrington on the Galaxy side. Jermaine Haley from Marique Isom, the 2 is good.
Just too easy, too easy. London finding their way, no problem in the middle.
Jermaine Haley, who had a triple-double last night, only has 5 points in this game. Now back the other way, I believe that's Michael Farmer going to the window for 2.
Yeah, so the Galaxy are now up to 10 turnovers, right? Remember, they only had 3 in the first half.
London have 13 turnovers. They had 9 at the halftime break, John.
That's still one thing they need to clean up. It's better this game. Last game was 29 turnovers, which is really...
Farmer into the corner, but Dyson III can't get it to go. Now Farmer was trying to out-battle the much bigger Elijah Lufiel, who commandeers the rock and tries to go coast to coast. And Mordi will intentionally foul the Galaxy with a 105 scoreboard here.
Well, Lufiel thought he was fouled on the drive there about Stellick. He's appealing to Stellick in a professional way, and Stellick says no, he had his hand on the ball. So no foul.
And again, the Galaxy will be back in action tomorrow, John. Sunday, April 23rd. It's a 5 p.m. tip-off. They are at home, though, at the Wings Event Center when they take on the Lebanon
Leprechauns. I wonder if they're driving home tonight. I wouldn't think so. It's 4 hours, so they're probably leaving in the morning, I would think.
I don't know. I think you would do it tonight, though, so you could sleep in your own bed.
Well, maybe so. You're going to get home pretty late.
That's the difference between the John and John philosophy.
Okay.
3 ball won't go down. Mafion Joyner, 1 of 3 from beyond the arc. 6 points still in this game. The no-look behind the back pass from Mordi. Stolen by Farmer. Coasts in for 2. So some sloppy basketball here by the Lightning, but they're still enjoying an 18-point lead after beating the same team by 17 last night.
I know it happens. As a coach,
Elijah Lufiel with the reverse.
Great, good ball moving that time by London. No, I just don't want to. If I were the coach, I just don't want any bad habits to creep in. Even if you're up by 20 points, it didn't really matter. You turn the ball over, now it's 18 points, now 20 again. But you just don't want bad habits.
You see on the court, Traylon Adams, he's 7 foot, but we haven't seen a whole lot of the Congolese native as Mordi hits the 3 ball to conclude the third quarter, and as a result, the Lightning lead by 23 points.
What is the final score in this quarter here for point differential? Let's have a look at that.
So after having an even 24-23 opening quarter, we talked about not having a third quarter leg in our keys of the game. They put up 37 points to the Lightning, John.
Wow.
Outscoring their opponents by 14 in that quarter alone. So they must have been listening to their keys of the game, because you said it was turnovers. Well, they went from...
That should never happen in the game. Maybe 7 or 8 offensive rebounds by the other team. If you're playing solid defense, you're boxing out, you're doing your job. Maybe 10, 19, and we're only going in the fourth quarter.
And going off of your comment, John, about the points off of turnovers, despite the fact that they have a 23-point lead, the Galaxy technically are leading 15-10 off of points off of turnovers, but it hasn't burned the Lightning yet. But come a tight postseason game,
yes,
that's going to hurt.
Those points off of turnovers, you got to limit those.
Final quarter of the 2023 regular season homestand, if you will, for the London Lightning.
We'll be back here till Saturday the 6th, right? Against probably Windsor, I'm thinking.
More than likely, which will feature Justin Moss, a former Kalamazoo Galaxy product.
We'll see him. Right now, he's playing about, Justin Moss is playing about 15 to 16 minutes. He's scoring about 7 or 8 points a game, getting a couple rebounds. That's his current role right now.
A little different than the 22 points and 10 rebounds he was averaging per game with the Galaxy.
Yeah, but to me, it's also a matter of working your way into the team hierarchy, into the team way structure of playing as well. So that playing time may be up as well. And we know he can score, that's for sure, Justin Moss.
But
But he'll be sort of the X factor, really, because London won't have seen him, I don't think.
Kurjan Kuch had 29 minutes of court time in last night's 17-point win. He was 6 of 8 from the field, 3 of 4 from the charity stripe, but here he goes 0 of 2, and he gets the ball back, John. This guy's lucky. He's got a horseshoe somewhere.
Yeah, but again, box out again. Where was the box out? Who's not boxing out the shooter?
The Nigerian kicks it out to the Texas native and Isom. Numbers the other way for the Galaxy. Going right after the rack. Great job by Mafian Joyner. He's got 8 points in the game. It is the fourth quarter, the final quarter here at Budweiser Gardens in the 2023 NBLC regular season. Want to give us some shout-outs, John, while we still have the opportunity. First shout-out's got to go down to the scorers table. I give them a lot of slack when the clock isn't working or when there's a stat off here and there. But when it comes to Bill, Carl, Brenda, Dom, Mike, Pat, Lydia, and Steve, I think they're some of the best in the business.
Yeah, I think most of them, those names on the faces are here from the very beginning as well.
And of course, I want to give a big shout out to Al Combs. He's the one that gets the crowd hyped up during the game.
He's got a great voice for that, doesn't he?
As Arsenio Arrington with his flashy teal kicks gets 2 here. Arrington, a bit of an off night as well, John. He's got 6 points in this game, but remember in the last game for the Galaxy, Arrington poured in 18 points and had 6 rebounds.
Yeah, so it's different players stepping up tonight, but consistency to me, that is really what I think the Galaxy need to figure out. Who's consistently going to be their go-to person? Who's consistently moving the ball in the offense? Where are people going when you have a roll?
Mordi getting it to Adams. Is he going to take a 2-ball attempt? No, he'll give it to the big man to Rumble.
How does he get open all the time, young Cooch? He's just always sliding his feet and moving his feet.
He's also 6'9", 220. It's not like he's going to go undetected.
Exactly, but he's always moving without the ball. He's doing one of the best jobs, especially in the paint, moving without the ball, rotating so somebody can actually give him the ball.
I'll give a big shout out to Flash, a.k.a. Kevin, or is it Kevin, a.k.a. Flash? That's the official mascot of the London Lightning who does all the dancing. And to be honest with you, if I tried any of those dance moves, I'd probably need a backiotomy.
Yeah, for sure.
Big shout-outs go to Vanessa Johnson. We see her time and time again singing the American National Anthem. She didn't get the role tonight, though. That went to the John Wise Public School Choir. But she does a fantastic job of usually taking us through the American National Anthem. Oh, yeah, wearing numerous hats here for the London Lightning. She's the game day presenter, so involved with the dance pack and all the theatrics you see going on in the court besides the basketball, John.
I hear you.
Orlando Little Jr., 2 of 2 from the charity stripe, now has 7 points in this game to go along with his 3 rebounds, but his team is trailing here by 19 on the road in the fourth quarter.
So the air sort of gone out of this game a little bit, eh? With this,
you think?
Big, yeah, I really enjoyed.
Why do you think I'm doing the shout-outs, John?
I got you. I really enjoyed that first half. I really liked the way Galaxy were playing and sticking with them. You know, just that third quarter really did them in.
So the Galaxy trying to turn it up a notch here. Are they calling that a goaltending? They will. Rich Stellick, the crew chief on the back end, said that Mafia and Joyner's shot had apexed, and as a result, 2 points will count.
That's a hard
Plus,
one
he was fouled.
He was fouled, yes. And then young Cooch came in late. The ball was still up in the air. I'm assuming it was going down. It just happened so bang, bang. Wasn't sure. It was really crowded down underneath there.
We'll give a big shout out while we can to Doug Plum, who's not in this game. Why? Well, serving a 1-game suspension for receiving too many technicals. Now, remember, in last night's game, he pretty much sat cross-legged for about, 95% of it. And then something happened there in the fourth quarter he didn't like, so he stepped onto the court, right into the grill of the official, said something to him, and got teed up right away. Now,
it's cumulative, right, for
maybe,
the season. So
I'm going to throw this out there. Doug isn't a new dog to the park. He knew how many techs he had. He had to have known by getting one more he was going to receive this. So going back to last night's altercation, why did he do that, John?
I am not reading the coach's mind. I'm sorry.
But you're a fellow coach, I thought.
I can't do it, so. In that circumstance, no. I can sort of surmise,
he was defending his player to your point last night,
looking at, what's going on in the court, but I don't know about those things.
We'll give a big shout out to Michael Provenzano and Dave Sewell. They're the only assistant coaches of the Canadian variety in a league called the National Basketball League. of Canada. In fact, they're the only all-Canadian coaching staff when you include Doug Plummet in the equation.
Okay.
And I know you don't like to hear this, but Michael Provenzano is just a couple minutes away from going to a perfect 2-0 as the head coach in this league.
He'll probably tell you to cool it as well.
Whatever.
Hey, he's doing a masterful job tonight. That started that third quarter. I give him some credit, you know, because coaches make adjustments, right, during the game. But especially at halftime, a lot of adjustments are made depending on what's happening in the game. So obviously, Provenzano did something at halftime to make adjustments, and they just ran the Galaxy off the floor that third quarter. So I'm going to give them some props for that.
After tonight, Kalamazoo has to travel back to the Wings Event Center to take on the Lebanon Leprechauns tomorrow at 5 p.m. That's a 260-mile journey through the border, about a 4-hour and 15-minute bus ride.
4 kilometers, though. So it's, what, 100 kilometers to the border. So that leaves, what, 210 miles left? So I don't know. You got to do a combo, right?
You're ridiculous, John. It's
Sorry.
260 miles. Get out of here.
Okay, well, that's about
when you go to the States, are you still counting in kilometers?
No, I said when you cross the border, you got to count the miles. Well, from between here and the border is in kilometers,
you
right?
are ridiculous.
I don't know. Anyway, it's about 400 kilometers. So.
Did you know that the city is equidistant? And did you know what equidistant meant?
I do, yeah. I got Chicago and Detroit or something. So.
That's right. I believe London would be equidistant to Toronto and Detroit then, no? Pretty close.
Yes, I think it is. I think that point's been mentioned before, yes.
16-point lead for the Lightning for a team that won by 17 24 hours ago.
Push off on Haley that time, on a smaller player. They just read it at that time, the Galaxy. They knew that Haley was the focal point, which he has been in the last 2 games. So they were fronting him back in front, and Haley just pushed a smaller player off to get open.
For a guy who fouled out with a triple-double last night, Jermaine Haley only has his second foul of the game after that, but he does have 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 5 points. So a bit of a, a lighter performance.
A little quieter night, yep.
Arsenio Arrington, near elbow. Bounce passes this one over to Michael Farmer. Nice cross back on Audie. Trying to put up this shot as Joyner, it rims out.
Good defense that time by London. They're sticking with their man, just cutting off any kind of open look and drive to the hoop.
Kalamazoo as a team shooting 43.4%. They've made 33 of 76 shots. London shooting just a bit better, John. They've actually shot the ball 3 less times, but made 3 more shots, and they're up at 49.3% as a result.
I'm wondering if the streak of holding teams under 100 points for the last 7 games is going to be in jeopardy tonight.
You think the Galaxy could get 20 points in the next 9 minutes?
That's very possible, yes, especially if you start slacking off on defense.
John Cooch was trying to posterize Joyner that time.
He was. And now I'm not begrudging that one because you're up by 20 or 16. You got a free lane to the hoop. You're going to two-hander.
Yeah, that might stick in my craw if I'm the Galaxy, though.
Well, yes. There's some truth to that, but yeah. You're both playing at a professional level.
I would go, you're up 16 and you're trying to posterize me? Well, I might see you after this game, big fella.
Why are you trying to block me? So.
No, that's true. That is, again, that's the art of sport.
Yeah.
Looks like Coach Eco wants a bit of a conversation with the official and Walters on the far side. I don't know, I beg your pardon. They're just going to sort of have a comment or two, but that's about it. 8:50 remains in this game. Again, London looking to improve to a 13-2 overall record versus the TBL, but a more impressive 13-0 here at Budweiser Gardens versus TBL opponents. Another turnover by the Lightning. Their 19th of the game leads to the 2 points from Orlando Little Jr. Now again, John, they're winning by 15. Relax. Who cares about the 19 turnovers?
Well, 15 is still a gettable lead that you can get down, especially if you're going to give the ball away.
Still
over 8 minutes to go.
You're doing a little Yogi Bear. It ain't over till it's over.
Well, 95% of the time I will say that. I think I only said one game this year I said, no, like it's done, right? I forget. I think I surprised you on that one. But most times, most leads are not insurmountable depending on what point of the game you're in.
Well, I know my one friend wouldn't want the government to know this, but he is a avid gambler, and he usually bets on basketball, John. He tells me that he doesn't even start watching the game until the 4th quarter. He says that statistically when you're betting on basketball, it really doesn't matter until the 4th Q anyway.
Yeah, well, there's some truth to that, especially with the three-point line in place.
Jean Cooch will be called for the charge, I apologize.
Yeah. Just a little too emphatic that time.
Arsenio Arrington looked like he could break out the chalk line for a crime scene around him.
He did get hit pretty hard, so I think Shelik was making sure he didn't get hit in the chin. So
Well, and again, hardwood. You kick your head off of that. That ain't going to feel too good. The officials trying to orchestrate here with 8:03 remaining on the fourth quarter clock. London again, their final home game of the regular season, looking to improve to 13-3 here at home. They have an 8-3 road record, John. That'll be important considering their final 3 games of the 2023 season is on the road.
Yeah, what I find really interesting is that if things stay the way they are, and I don't know what's happening with the Jamestown-Sudbury game, if things stay the way they are, that last game of the season is against Sudbury, and they've split their games 3-3.
Well, way to cue me up, John, as the Sudbury 5 have a 1-point lead, 91-90 at home with 3:23 remaining in the fourth quarter over Jamestown.
7-point deficit then.
But again, if Jamestown could pull out an upset, and it would be by all standards qualified as an upset.
Yeah, well, based on the record so far between the two leagues,
well,
yes.
Sudbury's the #1 team in our league, and Jamestown is not the #1 team in their league. So by that definition. But anyway,
yep, good take by
if Jamestown wins that game, though,
yes,
that doesn't just crack the door of opportunity. It busts it right off the hinge in favor of the London Lightning.
I think they still got to win. Well, win out, I mean.
You gotta always pop my bubble like that, John. Yes, they have to win out.
Then they're in.
But I'll throw this out there. They lose to the Jamestown Jackals. I'm pretty sure London can afford to lose one of those games to the Titans. They can't lose that game to the Sudbury 5 in the final game of the regular season.
That's what I'm saying. You'd like to have it sewn up before then, wouldn't you?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah, so.
But it never seems to be the case, unless last year.
That's why I think it's going to be, it's only for bragging rights, really, right? It's for first and second place. So you still got home court. You're either playing Windsor or KW. So, but it's for bragging rights for the league season title.
I'm not trying to chirp here, John, but when there's only 4 teams in the league, if you don't finish first, like Ricky Bobby says, you finish last.
Okay. That's still going to go on your record as you won the regular season title. So
well, that's what I'm saying. There's 4 teams, all right? You literally, and with the fact that all 4 teams made the playoffs, like you said, it is really more for our enjoyment more than anything else. And dare I say, the Galaxy, despite the crowd starting a wave here at Budweiser Garden, I can't remember the last time I saw the wave make an appearance during a Lightning game.
Tonight. I don't know if the cameras have panned the crowd tonight, especially on the far side. The wave is happening, but Galaxy here, they've cut this down to 11 points.
Trenton Temple, too, when you consider he had an epic first half, continues to rumble. He leads his team with 17 points on your Saturday night.
I'm going to say this is probably the biggest crowd we've had this year.
As Jermaine Haley busts around a Galaxy defender, and the London Lightning are at 100 points yet again. Adams playing defense. I thought maybe a bit of a travel there by Orlando Little. Losing the ball and getting it back are the Galaxy. Mafion Joyner, 3-ball won't go. Mordi on the rebound. Hucks this one deep to Haley. Haley going after Joyner. One-hander won't go, so Jean Cooch puts it back with 2.
Haley slow to get up down there. I thought he got hammered, to be honest, Haley. But young Cooch, again, another offensive board for him. He's got to have probably 8 or 10 offensive boards tonight.
Trenton Temple 7 of 13 from the field, but John, he's 0 of 2 from downtown after that last attempt. He's still leading all Galaxy members in points. Jeremiah Mordi, who was our player to watch last night, the Nigerian has already poured in a double-double, 3 assists shy of a triple-double here on your Saturday night.
Haley's still talking to the ref about that call out where he landed awkwardly out of bounds.
Again, going back to the shutouts, want to give a big shout out to Vito and Mark Frisia, the owner and management group of the London Lightning. John, this team's won 5 NBLC championships, including last year over the KW Titans. They truly are the pinnacle of the mountain when it comes to the National Basketball League of Canada. And it takes a quality owner and it takes some pretty good management to make that job done.
Well, we've said it, and I've said it. I've been here since day one as well. Almost every season I've called. I think I missed one. But they're really the flagship franchise of this league, really the model that everybody sort of aspires to. Good people as well, but they really put their heart and soul into this franchise, into this team, and to this league as well.
And if the BSL, yes, the BSL, the Basketball Super League, has any chance of being Super, John, you think they're going to have the Lightning in it?
I would think the Canadian teams might be in it, so yeah, absolutely.
So It ain't over till it's over, John. With 5:50 remaining in the fourth quarter, the Lightning, though, are still enjoying a 13-point lead, looking for their 13th home win and their 13th victory versus a TBL opponent. What was that?
I don't know. I think a little jump shot would have been perfectly fine from just inside the foul line there. To me, that's a very high percentage shot.
When you drop the controller playing 2K and you hit triangle
right
instead of
into
circle.
the bigs that time, and they lost control. Like I said, Galaxy has sort of come back, and to me,
that would have been huge if he could have dialed that up, Orlando Little
Jr.
Jr.
for getting an offensive board, but I'm not sure about Schlossler.
And Dyson.
For Dyson, of course, he's a well-known shooter from out there, and he had lots of time, but
John, he was 1 of 6 from downtown.
Yeah, but we know his track record from last night, right? So
he's now 2 of 7, and as a result, he's got 16 points in this game.
Yeah, he's really come on in the second half. So the Galaxy really righted the ship after that really poor third quarter.
Well, a third quarter where they coughed up 37 points,
yeah,
John.
That's what I'm saying. But in this quarter here, they've started cutting into the lead, right? They're up 21-8 in scoring in this quarter. 13 points off of that lead.
Is it the Lightning letting off the gas or the Galaxy being relentless?
I think the Galaxy were given a few opportunities that the Lightning were careless with the ball, for one thing. I think the Lightning took their foot off the gas. Give Galaxy credit. They got back a little bit to their structure, and they took advantage of some of those turnovers as well.
Want to give a big shout out to the media that helped cover the team and the league. You got Ryan Payette at the London Free Press, Game Day Sports magazine. They do a great job of covering the London Lightning as well. And I know coming into town, I think I was listening to Jack FM. I'm not familiar with the local radio stations, but I did hear a London Lightning ad. So it's always good to see the crowd kind of, the community, if you will, getting behind this team as they try and mount that in the mix for 6 after the drive for 5 was complete last year.
You got that going. So I'm going to go back, and you fans are going to start thinking, Johnny, and dump already. But 21 turnovers now for London, and we're still got 5.5 minutes left in this fourth quarter. 26 points off of turnovers given up to the Galaxy. That's why they're getting back into this game. The Galaxy are getting killed on the boards, though. 22 offensive boards by London. That's what's keeping London afloat tonight.
Out offensive rebounding the Galaxy plus 11. Out defensive rebounding them by 14. Quick math. That's 25 more rebounds in the lap of a yellow uniform.
And that's exactly where London's advantage has come into play.
And yet they only lead by 10, John.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Cameron Lard had to get rid of it before he landed. Marcus Audi, corner 3, bang.
He had a few clutch shots last night as well. Oh, London really bailed him out that time.
I was going to say, that was a heinous-looking shot from Trenton Temple, and he got bailed out.
Yeah, it was sort of a tentative, not really strong drive to the hoop. Not really in the flow of the offense. I know time's starting to get low here, but he did take it to him, and he's getting down to the foul line again.
Kalamazoo, the hometown of New York Yankee great Derek Jeter, NFL wide receiver Greg Jennings, former NFL running back TJ Duckett. Oh, yeah, and the world's #1 prize-winning pro bass fisherman, Kevin Van Dam.
I like that name, yeah.
And you know what these two cities have in common? Songs. A lot of songs with London in them. A lot of songs with Kalamazoo.
Yeah, that's just a great sounding name. So.
In fact, I'm pretty sure in the song I've Been Everywhere by Hank Snow in 1962, both London and Kalamazoo are both featured in that song.
Oh, I don't know about London, yeah.
4:45. We'll have to get some hardcore country fans to correct me on that if I'm wrong. As Haley receives this from Jean Couch, he not only went to the 360, you add another spin to that, that's what, 480, 450? It's too many steps.
2 spins is a 520. So.
Okay, well he didn't, but he was about a spin and a half through,
John.
John.
Like skateboarding and down.
Yeah, Tony Hawk
downhill,
style.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be a 520, right?
I could see you on the snowboard just doing a 580 in the midair off the half pipe there, John.
580, wow. That'd be tough.
As Jermaine Haley.
He's just so smart, I tell you.
Wow.
He's so composed out there.
Banks this one off of Orlando Little after the errant pass from Audi.
It's a 5-second call there. He had enough presence of mind to go up in the air and throw it off the defensive player.
Jean Couch now on the inbound. Leaves it there for Haley. Moves it out to Mordi. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. 4.5 remains in this game. Mordi with a step back 2. Stellick had 3 up, but to be honest with you, his foot was on the line.
I thought his foot was on the line as well.
Again, these awkward, heinous shots. Trenton Temple was so hot to start this game, John. In fact, he was 4 of 4 and 5 of 6 at one point.
Again, he forced it, but there is time. You got time to set up something. Even if it's a quick hitter, it doesn't have to be an out-of-control quick hitter like that.
And maybe he's just feisty for points. He is leading the Galaxy in points right now with 18.
I just think he's panicking because the time is getting short, but
nice backdoor pass. Great inbound by Orlando Little Jr.
Yeah, that was definitely a coach's setup play that time, that one.
And Edward Dyson III now has 18 points. So he's woken up here in the fourth quarter, our player to watch in a Galaxy uniform. But is it a case of too little, too late, John, with 4:01 remaining?
I don't think so.
Well, I kind of chirped you about, what, 6 game minutes ago? No, 4 game minutes ago to be exact. When the Galaxy had 80 points, I went, really? You think they're going to get to 100? They're 4 away, John. So maybe I should have listened to you.
I'm just saying, so.
That goes back to my gambling buddy, though. I only turn it on in the fourth quarter. That's when I click on the NBA TV.
Too, yeah, so.
All the bets are made mid-afternoon, but he doesn't even bother clicking it on until the fourth.
London just needs to take care of their possessions, the next few possessions. Make sure the clock is running down a bit and getting a good look at the shots.
They won by double digits last night, 17. Currently leading by 10. Mordi trying to make it 11 here, and he does. A perfect 6 of 6 from the charity stripe. He's leading everybody on the court right now with 22 points. He was our player to watch last night. Maybe we should have just made it for the whole weekend.
It's a sort of a quiet 22 points tonight.
Well, again, they will improve to 11-1 after this game in games where Jeremiah Mordi's in their starting 5.
Wow, that was all Dyson that time. One of the smallest guys in there. He got 3 offensive boards right in a row. He just would not be denied. He got blocked twice and then finally got fouled on the 3rd attempt.
Are they calling that on Jean Couch?
Somebody in there got it. It was a crowd.
If it's Jean Couch, it'll be his 4th foul of the game. He'll join Mordi with 4 on the London side of the fence. For the Galaxy, though, Trenton Temple, you're wondering why he's crashing like a bull through the china shop when he's got 5 fouls. You know, 1 more charge and he's kicked out of this game. Edward Dyson III has 4 fouls, and currently that's his first make and his first shot from the charity stripe.
And again, they're making this run without the big guy, right?
It's the 3 ball that killed him. Michael Farmer, Arsenio Arrington, and Grayson Macubanya, a combined 0 of 5 from downtown. Orlando Little Jr. and Mafion Joyner, a combined 2 of 11 from downtown. And Trenton Temple and Dyson III with Chad Bowie, a combined 3 of 12 from downtown. You got to have better numbers than that. 3.5 to go here on your Saturday night. Thanks for joining us on NBLC and TBL TV. As Mordi couldn't get the shot to go, the rebound is pulled away by Orlando Little Jr., his 4th of the contest. He moves it into the front court, goes right after Mordi. The floater won't go. Rebound pops out to Audie. I thought Audie was going to use that breakout speed. Thought better of it. Zigzag back and gives it over to Haley. Cross court to Adams. Adams, by the way, 5 of 9 from downtown. He started off 4 of 5 from beyond the arc. He's got 16 points.
Big mismatch here with Haley. Got a small on him.
Going after Michael Farmer. Spills Michael Farmer down to the deck. Spills 2 Galaxy players down to the deck. Both Michael Farmer and Joyner both hit the hardwood as a result of the BC native getting 2 points.
I thought that was a great no call by Rich Stellick that time.
Maybe the first one.
No, even the second one I thought. The defender was not in position.
Adams moves this down the left wing and into Galaxy territory. The floater pass to Mordi is good over Michael Farmer.
Who are they going to? Oh,
Jean Couch can't get love off the glass. Joyner with 11 points so far in this game. To the near side to Michael Farmer.
Okay,
it's
like,
good.
No. Okay, good shot. Kind of idea, right? Just so early, but I mean, we are down to the last 2 minutes, last few strokes.
He's got 9 points in this game.
He was feeling it, I guess.
By the way, we haven't seen number 7, Caleb Vaughn, in this game. We saw a taste of Caleb Vaughn in the fourth quarter in last night's game. He was on America Ninja Warrior back in 2018. I love watching that show.
I've watched many of those, yeah.
Yeah, it always makes me think of how weak I am.
Oh, I could never do it.
Oh, to climb like 30 different things using your pinkies. Well, get out of here with that
not
stuff.
Not possible, no. Give me a basketball to shoot, or,
yeah, that's right, that's
or
right.
a soccer ball to kick, or
well, even more kudos to Caleb to be able to do both.
Or a disc to throw and disc golf, you know. Give me any of those kind of things.
A snooker ball.
It's something, but don't make me climb stuff. So.
Okay. No rock climbing for John.
No.
$1.40 now remains on your Friday night. I want to give a very big shout out to Shannon and Quentin on camera here tonight, doing an excellent job for Cujo Entertainment as always, as well as Cam the man producing this one back in the van. Galaxy trying to get into this game. They can't make this 3-ball, and Mafian Joyner is 1 of 6 from beyond the arc on your Saturday night.
Good decision. Pull the ball back out. Just over a minute to go. Both teams are going to be in the bonus here if there is a foul.
Probably the biggest shout out of them all goes to Jake Beckett. He's a guy that wears probably all the hats from A to Z for the London Lightning. When you need an informational tidbit, when you need help with anything, you go to Jake. The bank is open.
And a more timely shot and person than Jermaine Haley. Excellent. He deserved that one.
Michael Farmer tried to respond with a 3 of his own. It won't go. We're into the final minute of play. Jeremiah Mordi refusing to lose the ball. He'll spill into your baseline sign.
Sort of lost his way there. He's trying to look for an exit plan there. He just couldn't find it.
Mordi leading everybody on the court with 22 points in this game. It is Ed Dyson's the third 20-point performance leading the Galaxy.
Well, they broke the 100 mark, so a 7-game record. Holding team 100 points is gone.
Well, and to a point you keep making, John, the 22 turnovers so far in this game couldn't have helped.
How many points off of turnovers?
28 to 10 in favor of the Galaxy.
Wow.
In a game that they're losing by 11. Looking at Michael Provenzano, who's technically got the head coaching duties tonight with Doug Plum out of service. And it is him talking with Jermaine Haley on that far sideline. Haley so far tonight, after the triple-double performance, a rebound shy of a double-double, John. He had 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and 12 points.
Yeah, he's the everything guy. He's the glue guy. I always talk about players like that sort of do everything for the team, sort of hold the team together, hold them accountable, put people in the right place, set up other players, make big plays when they need it. To me, he's a glue guy. This year,
Jeremiah Mordi,
for the Lightning.
The only Lightning product to be perfect at the charity stripe on your Saturday night. 7 of 7. I didn't jinx him. 8 of 8.
Okay. Yeah, we really have no effect here.
Although Trenton Temple and Orlando Little and Ed Weiss in the third are all perfect, but they've shot 2 and 4 respectively each. Jean Couch, that's a big man rumbling it down for his first points of the game. Traylon Adams, that's 7 feet tall. It's like picking an apple for him. Jermaine Haley, it looked like he was going to do that wrist pass you love so much, John.
Yeah, when he does it, you'll know what I mean. It is unbelievable strength in his wrist to do that.
Ball ricochets out of bounds, and as a result, it will be Lightning ball. Just 15.1 seconds away from, finishing the 2023 season with a 13-3 home record. Adams, one last time from distance. It won't go. Jean Couch kept it alive. Mordi back out to Audie, and London's just going to wind out the clock. So the London Lightning improved to a perfect 13-0 versus the Basketball League opponents here at Budweiser Gardens. As a result, they will finish the home record of 2023 at 13-3. They improved to 21-6, and the Lightning still have 3 games left. 2 against the Titans and 1 against the Sudbury Five, as the top of the mountain has yet to be solidified with somebody's flag.
Yep, just got the base camps going so far, right?
And as we've been talking about it time and time again, if the playoffs were to start tonight, John Van Houwelingen, it would be the London Lightning taking on the Windsor Express, and it would be the Sudbury Five taking on the KW Titans. As I take one last gander at the out-of-town scoreboard, you might be able to throw that all out the window, folks. The Jamestown Jackals have pulled out the upset. 98-97 on your Saturday night versus the Sudbury Five, and as a result, the Five have lost that game, and I mentioned it before, it's not just a cracking of the door of opportunity. You've nailed it down, John. They're a single game back, meaning that, again, if the Lightning win those 2 games against the Titans, it'll come down to that final game in May up in Nickeltown.
Okay, wow. Sudbury let one drop. They were at home as well, were they not?
That's right.
Yeah, at home as well.
And again, no update from the state of Indiana as the KW Titans are down south to take on the Kokomo Bobcats. That's Bobcats with a K. Again, it was an international interleague affair, as you actually see Lance Adams. Remember, he played in this league before the Galaxy even existed, John, but he obviously played with a couple of these guys down on the court.
Yeah, absolutely. He's familiar with some of them as
well. Are we getting a jersey exchange?
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, well, you would like to get one of those jerseys, I think, wouldn't
you?
Yeah,
there we go. Throw them up on the wall.
Your suit coat. That's an awesome suit coat you got. Change it for one of those shirts.
And those Galaxy jerseys were nice. We've been saying that since tip-off.
You can buy it online, I'm sure.
So the Lightning won by 17 points last night, John.